Super Dario is in the Olympics, and I'll tell you what, fuck the USA. Go Croatia, baby! Croatia all the way. The Croatian sensation has been on full display. Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian. Thank you. We're here to break down some Dario Saric today. God, I think I said that right.
I always got to remember to say it. I'm so used to saying Saric all the time, but then when we were corrected on how to say it right, it's just so hard to pronunciate it because, like you said, it sounds like you're slurring your words half the time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm drunk. Terrible. But yeah, we're breaking this down. So I've seen 6 full games of him so far. I watched the 3 Olympic qualifying games in Turin, where he was named MVP, and I've seen the first 3 games of his Olympics with Croatia. And here's what I'll say: I really wasn't too impressed with him until the last 2 games. He won the MVP in Turin, but there wasn't anything that really stood out to me. He did a lot of things pretty good, pretty well, but he didn't do anything like great. Nothing that really caught my eye per se. But the last 2 games, oh my God. All right, first of all, if you haven't seen this clip, watch him go up for a block. This is against Brazil. So I forget who it was that was going to the rim, but he helped out in defense, timed his jump perfectly, got the block, right? Comes down with it, and in one motion, throws a baseball pass down the floor perfectly to Bogdanovic for the dunk. So in a matter of 3 seconds, block, outlet pass, and then 2 points.
It was an incredible outlet pass. He threaded the needle. It looked like Tom Brady out there making a pass to Randy Moss back in the day. I mean, it was spot perfect. Bogdanovic didn't have to slow up at all. It was perfect in transition, and it just poetry in motion right there. It was a nice block. It seems he does better when there's a little bit of help on him as opposed to a little one-on-one defense, much like we saw the block with Paul Gasol to beat Spain.
Yeah, that's where he kind of excels defensively, because other than that, he can't really defend. You don't, when he can help, because he's so smart, he's got a high basketball IQ, so his help defense is good. He can time his jump, and he can block shots. But where he's not good at, where he's actually pretty fucking awful, is his perimeter defense. And I've seen this time and time again, where guys like Danilo Gallinari, Andrea Bargnani, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Mirotic against Spain. These guys are isolating him on the wings, and they're getting to the basket with ease. And they turn him around like a top. So his perimeter defense right now is awful. He doesn't have the quick feet to be able to stay in front of these guys. He gets beat on ball fakes. He gets beat on jab steps. It's so easy to take it on him to the rim.
And this is going to promote a problem when he comes to the NBA, where guys are extremely athletic. You're playing against European players who aren't as athletic as they are in the States here.
They try to hide it for Croatia by kind of, because Mirotic, he was on Mirotic against Spain the first quarter, and then they're like, oh, this ain't going to work. So they took him off of him, and they put him on a lesser player, and they just kind of had him underneath the basket where he can use his prowess of help defending and blocking shots. So it'll be interesting to see, because I'm having a hard time believing that Saric, sorry Croatians, Saric and Jahlil Okafor can play together.
It's going to be interesting, and when they're out there, because of the limitation on defense, do you think the Sixers will go more to a zone?
They're going to have to. if he's going to have to play zone. If he and Okafor are on the floor at the same time, I don't know if that can work. But he and Noel, I think, can, because Noel can, even though Noel is better as a perimeter defender than he is inside, he can do both good enough that he can stay inside, and Saric can stay inside, and Noel can defend the perimeter.
And he could probably flash some of that defense, that help defense, like he has in the Olympics, as we see.
Yeah, we've seen it several times now. I saw it on Nene on a roll to the basket off a pick and roll. Was able to block a shot on the inbounds pass against Spain to win it. Blocks Pau Gasol's shot, and it's just that basketball IQ, man. He just has a feel for the game. He knows where guys are, and he's able to block these shots.
That's huge having a basketball IQ because it could make up for a lot of things that players lack. Being at the right place in the right time, being very smart, intelligent, and making plays. We've seen multiple guys in the NBA live throughout that and extend their career when they've lost that explosiveness and that athleticism.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's talk about some of the things he does really well. And the one thing that stands out to me is, like Ben Simmons, he has the ability to grab a defensive rebound and go down the floor. And his outlet passing is tremendous. He can find guys. The only difference is he doesn't have that explosion as Simmons does. So he's not necessarily going to be able to take it all the way to the basket. So what Saric does is he can pull up for a jumper. He likes to pull up from the elbows, or he likes to execute the dribble handoff when he comes down the floor, or it's just a straight up outlet pass, from the opposing foul line up the floor. So he can do a lot of different things. He's just not as athletic as Simmons is, and that's not that big of a deal. I mean, Simmons is just a freak of an athlete. You're not going to see that from everybody.
No, and there's limits. There's a very select few players that have that type of explosion, like LeBron or Andrew Wiggins and such. But he could still make a living off of that because he kind of reminds me of Dirk's game. Dirk really never had that explosion, even in his younger years. He's got that great turnaround jumper. He can pass. He's really good in the post passing. I even like him on the outlet. He's another point forward. So I'm wondering if the Sixers are going to. Obviously, they can play together with Simmons and Saric, but when then Simmons sits down, I feel like he could maybe take over the point forward spot and play a little point guard, even.
Yeah, he can definitely handle the rock. Caruso likes to play a lot of iso ball, a lot of isolation with Bogdanovic and Saric. And what Saric is at his best is when he gets the ball along the wings, and he likes to use the stutter dribble and pull up for the elbow jumpers. He doesn't have the athleticism, again, going back to that, to really finish at the rim. He was able to do so a couple of times, but, you got to remember some of these national teams, they don't have these elite rim protectors as, say, the NBA is going to have. I mean, the NBA is filled and littered with them. So I'm seeing him get blocked at the rim by these nobodies in an Olympic qualifying tournament against in the Olympics. He's been getting met at the summit and getting blocked away. He just doesn't have that athleticism to finish over them. So the thing he needs to work on is to somehow come up with like a jump stop and a floater in the lane, because, I mean, he's not going to be able to finish over people. It's just not going to happen.
And time again, we've seen that floater come in and shut down shot blockers like DeAndre or even Nerlens Noel. You have enough arc on that, it's going to go right over and actually pulls them away from the rim. And if it doesn't make it, you just get that defensive rebound or offensive rebound. So it's interesting going to say it, but I like that one offensive move that he has. I've seen it once or twice. I know you have too. He's got that nice little stutter step going. Yeah. I wonder if he's going to be predominantly right, but he probably is because a lot of guys like to go a certain way. But in the NBA, a lockdown defender is going to jump on that. So I'd like to see maybe mix it both up. It's as opposed to being predominantly right, being a little bit more ambidextrous.
Yeah, he creates a lot of space with that stutter dribble, but it'll be interesting to see, again, going up against more athletic players in the NBA because, again, I mean, like Danilo Gallinari, Andre Bargnani, Nikola Mirotic, these guys aren't the most athletic players in the world. Even though he was able to get his shot off on Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously, Greek freak, he's an athlete. Mm-hmm. So, like, say when he gets on, like, say Kawhi Leonard, like, you were kind of referencing pre-show, that'll be interesting to see if he can do that. We don't have enough of a sample. At least I don't have enough of a sample size. I've only seen 6 games to make a prediction on that yet.
It'd be interesting to see, and obviously Kawhi is going to most of the time be locked down on the best scorer on the.
Yeah, he probably won't even be on him.
So he probably won't even be on him. Has to say it's going to be a learning curve when he does come over here. But it's another thing to get excited about. It's like we finally get to see a little bit of a sample size because we don't get to see European players play. And now that the Olympics are going on, we're getting a little bit more of what we got in the 2014 draft, what we saw, what Sam Hinkie saw, and Brett Brown. And you get a little bit of excitement over it.
Sam Hinkie died for our sins.
He did. That he did.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, because it's crazy, man. Because like the first 4 games I watched him, I was like, what's so great about this guy? And like I didn't really see it yet. And then the last 2 games I have. That's why you can't make a judgment on a player from watching just a couple games. You got to keep watching them and over again. And so, but the last 2 games, what I've been really, really impressed with has nothing to do with basketball. It's his competitiveness, the fire he has, the edge he plays with, and the motherfucker is clutch. He hits daggers. That's what he does. He did it against Brazil. Brazil was mounting this comeback. They were down by like 13 points in the third quarter. They were coming back in the fourth quarter, and he hits this right wing three, just cold-blooded assassin. And then a little bit later, offensive rebound and putback, that puts the game away. Against Spain, obviously, we saw the block against Pau Gasol. So this guy gets hypered up. I hope he plays with this same edge and fire in the States, because I understand this is the national team and this is like probably a lot more important to him than the NBA. So we'll see. But I mean, I love it, man. Whenever he finds an open teammate for a pass, he raises his arms triumphantly. I mean, the guy is awesome.
And that's going to translate well over to Philly because, as you know, we love players with that type of enthusiasm that's going to lay it down on the line, putting it in and night out. Allen Iverson did it night in and night out. Even though he did everything in his career for this franchise, he messed up off the court, and we still love him because that's the type of fans we are. We love blue-collar guys like that. Chip on the shoulder, competitiveness, loves to win. And I can't wait to see him. And we finally get a shooter on the team that we've been lacking therefore. He's got ice in his veins. That was a nasty shot that he had to put it away. He hit it in motion, no hesitation. He's got confidence in himself.
This happened in the fourth quarter, too, against, who was the second opponent they played? They played, I'm blanking. But they were down a bunch, and his first 3 quarters, he wasn't really playing that well. Then he scored 11 of his 19 points in the final frame. Single-handedly, almost brought Croatia all the way back. They were down by, I think, at least 15 points. And it was Argentina. That's who it was. So they got down against Argentina, and they actually climbed back to within a point in the last, it was like under 2 minutes to play. And then Croatia's coach, fucking idiot, decides to pick up a technical, and they lost the game. So that's what killed that momentum. But Saric, man, he has it. He has it. I'm telling you guys, he has the ice water in his veins.
And that's a display of mental toughness to not be playing well for 3 quarters and still have the ability to put the team on your back and play just nonstop shooting. And he's a young guy, too. A lot of guys, when they start doing that, they get in their own heads and they don't want to take the shots. They hesitate. They mess up. They have turnovers.
Yeah. And it's the other thing, too, is, he's very inconsistent with his jump shot. At least out of the 6 games I've covered, he had 2 really bad shooting nights where he was 1 of 7 the one night. That was against Spain, and I forget what the other. He was like 2 of 7 or something against another opponent. But here's where he's good, because he doesn't have to be able to shoot the ball to still be effective, because his vision is so good. He can impact the game with his passing ability. He can impact the game with his rebounding ability. So he doesn't necessarily have to score to make an impact. Kind of sounds like Ben Simmons a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, just minus the athleticism. But it's good to have players like that, that are just not one-dimensional, that can do a multitude of things.
Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing. Because with his shooting, when it's on, he's square. When he's not, he's still falling away a little bit. So he's still got to work on his shot. Because the game against Spain, he was falling away on every single shot. He wasn't balanced. So that's the problem I'm seeing with him on that.
There's going to be mechanics that he's got to work out. Nobody's a polished or a finished product when they come over. He's still going to need a little bit of work. And I know the European League, some guys translate it, bring some of their playing styles over from there. Like the Eurostep has become very popular now in the current NBA.
He loves to use that.
Dwayne Wade, I've seen Kyrie use it. So the sample size is a little small, but we see more and more of it coming over. And what I also like to see is he's on the big stage now, too. So when he's going to come over here, I don't feel like there's going to be any jitters because he's been on the biggest biggest stage of the world. Like, this is the Olympics, the best teams in the world. It's just not in a certain country. This is the whole shebang right here. And this is on display for everybody to see, just not, that one main country. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have any jitters. I've heard great things from Brett Brown. He's talked him up. I know Sam Hinkie loved him. I know he loved his intelligence. But I think the fans are going to love him here.
Yeah, the intelligence is probably his best attribute. It really is. And here's where we get to this point. Croatia plays they have Saric. Almost did it again. Saric in the post a lot, which I completely don't understand, because it seems like half the time he's turning the ball over. He doesn't have a lot of strength. He doesn't have a lot of upper body strength yet. So he gets out-muscled in the post a lot. And he loses his balance, he loses his dribble, and he turns it over. This is something I've seen countless times, a lot of times, in the games I've seen. But with that being said, look at what we have in Philly. Jahlil Okafor, Joel Embiid. We have guys that can play in the post. So this is going to limit Saric's weakness. You can hide it. You can, you don't have to go in the post with him, because we have guys that can do it.
Yeah, it's a logjam there. So that's a win. It's a one-up for us right there. For his rookie season, will he probably get some strength and conditioning when he comes in? Absolutely. But for now, he's a good cutter. He can stay out on the perimeter. If Ben Simmons is double team, he has the in the right mind to go and be in the right place at the right time. And you can't teach basketball intelligence, I don't think. It's just a natural ability, just like freakish athleticism or a great shooting touch. Just something that you can't teach. You just have it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I almost forgot to say that. His awareness out there on the floor and knowing where the open spots, the open spaces are on the floor, he's really good at doing that. And there was a clip there in the last game, even though the shot clock expired, Bogdanovic was double teamed in the left corner. Saric comes to the ball along the left wing, and to help out his teammate, winds up hitting the three, but the shot clock expired. But that's just an example of what he can do away from the ball. He knows how to set up his, to get his guy to go into the screens. He's really good off the ball.
Yeah, he is. That would save a timeout, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of double teams on Ben Simmons this year, just because of his ability to get to the tin and his passing ability. So having a guy like that out there is going to be a huge plus for us.
Yeah. All right. Now, to get to his post play again, just to really quickly kind of summarize this, because we talked about the weakness. Now, when he doesn't turn the ball over, he does have this step back fadeaway that he likes to go to. It's always he kind of always makes it into a more difficult shot than it should be, but he can't hit it. And the other thing he does very well, you can't double team him in the post, because his vision is so good. If you double him, the second he sees that double, he's finding that open shooter.
It's great. And I love guys with the step back jumpers. Look at Dirk. Clutch move. Definitely a perfect move for Dirk. He's turning around off that 1 foot fadeaway. Kobe had it too. And what's great about that, if you can master that, it's unblockable. Because with his length too, because he's so big, he's able to shoot over most defenders. But with that lean back, if he can nail it down and work on those mechanics a little more, become like a shooting assassin. I mean, one up again for us. They were calling this guy when they drafted him the new Dirk Nowitzki over here. I know it's a tall order to fill, but he has a lot of the same precedence as Dirk has. I've seen a lot of him when he first came over. I don't know if you remember when Dirk first came over. I mean, I see a lot of his game in Dirk Nowitzki or in Dario Saric.
Yeah, well, the difference is Saric obviously has the passing ability and the vision that Dirk didn't have. But there are some similarities. I mean, I think Dirk can get to the rim more because Saric just kind of can't really at all. Like, he can, but he can't, if that makes any sense. Like if that rim protector isn't there, he can beat his guy off the dribble, right? But if that rim protector helps, he's kind of fucked, especially a guy that's really athletic. So that's what I mean, I've seen these 6'10" stiffs block him at the rim. These nobodies that I've never heard before block him at the rim, and that's a problem.
That's definitely a huge issue because when you guys are going to have guys like the Nerlandses and the DeAndres coming in, they're going to be swatting it left and right. Even the Tristan Thompsons of the world are going to be blocking him.
Yeah. He's going to get swatted a lot by Noel in practice.
Yeah, it is. So what better way to learn than have one of the better shot blockers in the league going up against him practice every day? If we don't trade him, that is.
All right, that's about it on Saric. I pretty much recapped everything that I've seen so far. We'll probably do another video because next week because he's going to keep playing games. He's playing again tonight. Playing I don't know who they're playing tonight. I don't know. I got nothing. It's not Lithuania, I don't think. So whoever else is in their group.
It's not Argentina, right? They already played them.
Not Argentina because they played them. It's Argentina, Spain. Brazil. Maybe it is Lithuania. I don't know. I'm going to look it up right now. They're playing at 9:30. The game is not on television, but you can watch it online on NBCOlympics.com. So let me see who they're playing tonight.
And it'll be interesting to see if he keeps this momentum going, if he builds off these last two games because he did start off kind of slow. So if he increases his play with more time, I mean, maybe they won it all for his, Turkish team. Maybe they win it all here too.
Croatia plays Nigeria tonight.
Okay.
So, all right, Nigeria. Well, we know they're going to have some athletic black guys.
Yes, definitely. I don't know if there's anybody in the NBA that's from Nigeria playing on that national team.
I'm going to look up their roster right now. I'm going to say that there's not really much, but. All right, so to kind of conclude, here's kind of what I see from Saric. I see him as like a sixth man, but he can be a pretty good sixth man coming off the bench for this team. That's kind of what I'm seeing. You got to pair him with the right players. So if you bring him with, I don't know if Noel's going to get traded or not, but Noel would be kind of the perfect piece to play him with.
And that was going to be my final thought for you today. Do you see him being in the starting lineup, or is he going to come straight off the bench? And then who is he going to be with coming off the bench? Because I feel like if Embiid is healthy and he does play, he is going to be matched up with Okafor to kind of help with his defensive inabilities. And then, Saric comes in with the same thing. You're going to have to pair him with a guy that's really strong defensively, and then maybe pair him with like a shooter. So kind of build on that bench that we've been lacking for the past couple of years.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I got their roster up. Their best player is probably Michael Benajay. So honestly, it's going to be hard to really scout him tonight because they should beat Nigeria. Ike Diago is the other name I recognize. He used to play for Arizona State back in the day.
Yeah, I've heard that name.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know who any of these guys. Ebi Ara. If that's the Ebi Ara I'm thinking of Oklahoma back in the day. They made a Final Four. He was like the second or third best player on that team.
I don't know any of these guys. They should run over them.
Oklahoma made the Final Four back in 2002. They had Ebi Ara, you had Hollis Price, and you had another guy on that team. So I remember Ebi Ara. He's like a shooter.
Oh, so maybe it is the same guy. I mean, I doubt that there's a lot of Ebi Aras around the country. It's not like the most common name in the world, so it could be.
I think that's definitely him. I don't recognize anybody else on this team though. So they got Benajay. They got 3 college stars, but nobody really NBA wise. I mean, Benajay is on the Pistons, but obviously he's a rookie.
So they should, walk right over him. It'd be funny if we met up with Stephon Marbury at all. I think he plays for a China team, if not. But a lot of guys make their living. They leave the NBA and go play on these other teams for their careers.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It says here, that Diago plays for the Guangdong Southern Tigers. Ara plays for Capitanes de Arecibo. I don't know where the fuck that is.
Guangdong, that's what Stephon plays for, I believe.
So they're teammates, like Diago and stuff. All right. So there you go. There's a guy on FC Barcelona, Lassa, Shane Lawal. I don't know if I recognize that name though. I don't know. That's all I got. So yeah, that's about it. All right. So final thoughts.
My final thought is now with adding Saric to the team, are we going to have one of the biggest lineups in NBA history? We've got how many guys over 6'10" plus?
Yeah, it's insane. It really is. It's like Kentucky a couple of years ago when they almost won the national championship.
Yeah, when they had those 3 or 4 huge guys. You look at this. Look at this lineup. You got Ben Simmons. You got Noel. You got Okafor. You got Embiid. You got Holmes. You got Saric. We would have had Christian Wood. It's the biggest lineup ever. Nobody should be able to get a rebound on us at all.
I've seen people who want to start Simmons at point guard. They want Saric at the 3. They want Okafor at the 4 and Embiid at the 5. Now, I think you can't. I don't think you can do that because there's not. You need some wing defenders. You can't. You can't do that. That's too big. All right, that's what she said, but it's too big.
Agreed. That's way too many big bodies on there. And at one point when we were drafting these guys, I was saying that is Sarge going to play the 3 or will he play the 4? That's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, he's not going to play the 3, but when they drafted him, it's like, what route are they going here? Do they just love drafting big guys? Kind of like when the Jets draft a defensive guy every single year. Is that going to be our niche?
Well, I'll tell you what. He can't match up with a 3 defensively.
No.
So he's probably better off at the 4, and they're going to have to find a way to hide him defensively. Unless he can play against a post guy. I think he can hold his own against a post guy. But if he's on like a Giannis, like forget about it.
He's gonna get eaten alive out there.
Yeah, I like the worst play I've seen him defensively. So Danilo Gallinari beats him off the ball. So like Saric is like 5 seconds late, and then he gets the ball. Gallinari uses this jab step, like a weak fucking jab step, and Gallinari Saric goes like fucking almost tumbles down, and then he beats him off the dribble, and just like nothing from Saric to even block the shot. So
that's from an unathletic guy that's had a couple knee surgeries too.
Yeah, and the other thing, it's the thing that Brazil was doing the other night, since Croatia was switching everything. Saric would get matched up with their point guard on a couple instances at the top of the key. No shot. None. He got his ankles broken one time. It was kind of funny. But it was great because Saric gets his ankles broken, and then the next possession, he's slapping the floor when he got switched up again against the guy. It was great. Like that's what I'm talking about that competitive edge. I love it.
Yeah.
He got his ankles fucking broken, and now he's slapping the floor like he's at Duke.
Like he's gonna shut him down. Or did you ever see that video of that guy when he did that? He was slapping on the floor. He was so into doing that, the guy just blew right by him. It was at a college game. It was so funny. He was getting so hyped over it. But I love to see that competitive fire.
Yeah, it's great. All right, so that about wraps it up. I don't have any final thoughts. So we covered everything, though, basically.
I do have one final thought. I'm wondering what you think and what you guys out there think is, are they going to pair Ben Simmons and Saric together? Or are they going to be two separate? Are they going to have Saric come off the bench and have him run the point while Simmons is in there? So I'm wondering if they're going to play them together.
Well, I mean, I do think they can play them together at times. Like, I don't think they're going to start together. But I definitely think they can play together. Just with their passing ability alone, I think they would work well with each other. But I don't think you can play them or start them, at least not yet. I wouldn't do that.
So do you give it to Ben, though, right away? Because does he handle the ball every single time because he's the number 1 overall pick and he's the superior passer?
Yes.
So you think he gets that pass right away every time? Okay.
Ben is a fucking beast.
He is. I agree.
So, but Saric can handle some, he can handle the ball. Well, you got to remember, too, they're going to have Sergio Rodriguez, too. So,
I know.
We'll see. I mean, well, it's too late to get into this now. But, all right, you know what? Maybe we'll do a separate show on Sergio because I've been watching him, too. Dude. Oh, he's like Jason Williams with his flash. I fucking love it. Dude, he nonchalantly just flips behind the back passes like it's nothing. I fucking love it.
White chocolate reference.
I love the swag. He's Spanish chocolate.
That's awesome, dude. That's some high praise right there. I've heard that he's really electric with the ball, and the way his vision is incredible, and the way he can pass it. But I haven't seen much on him.
Yeah, he's at his best working the pick and roll and the pocket passing, unbelievable. He impressed me. He really did. I mean, I only saw him play 2 games, so again, limited sample size. But yeah, I like what I saw. But yeah, that's another topic for another day. Maybe we can get a video out of that. So
good problem to have. We went from having 0 ball handlers to having 3.
There you go. All right. Actually, we have 4. Jared Bayless can handle the ball too.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, absolutely. Count him in too.
Fucking championship. For Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fetcu. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This was, wow, we got 30 minutes out of this. I did not expect this. We're out. Later.
Peace.